Hello everyone, welcome back to WN Movie Talk. I'm Trev and today I'm sat in front of my DVDs again, which means we're going to look at some more DVD titles that I have bought. Now, I've had a lot of traction on the video that I put up where I looked at my entire DVD collection. At first it sort of fell flat, but it's picked up and I've picked up several subscribers from that. So thank you all if you're watching now. Thank you for subscribing. I thought I'd better do some more DVD content, and I have plenty to talk about because I have bought more DVDs since I last done that video, which I will discuss now. Over 70 titles to add to my collection. So we're going to run through them now. Some of them I could talk about because I know them. Some of them I don't really know what they are. So if you have any clue of these films, if you've seen any of these, you can give me your feedback below. It's always great to hear your feedback in the comments. Also, let me know if you collect DVDs. How big is your collection? How do you put yours together? Start a discussion below. It'd be great to hear from you. And if you're watching this video and you're new to this channel, then please give us a like and subscribe, because not only do I run through DVDs, I also make some videos where I review films or do discussions about certain topics. So it's really worth having a look through my channel and seeing what you come across. But we've got a lot to get through today. Over 70 titles I've picked up since, I think it was like the back end of October when I've done that video. It's a bit of all sorts really. So first of all, let's go through the Blu-rays. The first one here is a 3D film. Jack and the Giant Slayer in 3D. Now, I don't know much about this. I don't read the back covers. If I don't know a film, then I'll just watch it blind. So if you've seen them and you quite enjoyed them, let me know. So the first one, yeah, Jack the Giant Slayer. I've got plenty of 3D films now. I will do a video where I'm going to run through my collection because I've got 3D TV last Christmas, and in the year I've just collected so many films that it'd be worth running through. So there's another one to add to my collection. One more 3D Blu-ray here, Mockingjay Part 2, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2. Now, I love the Hunger Games films. I did feel that they tailed off a bit at the end, but it'd be interesting to see this in 3D. It'd be interesting to see the lovely Jennifer Lawrence in 3D, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'd like to watch all the Hunger Games films again. My son is getting of an age where I think he should sit through them, so we will do that soon. Then, by the way, I just picked up from like charity shops. All these are sort of charity shops and that. These here I picked up from the supermarket. There was 2 for £8. Now, I got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I actually really enjoyed when I went to watch it at the cinema. I thought it was quite good. I didn't want to watch it because I'd heard all the bad reviews, but when I actually watched it, I thought it was really good. A lot better than Crystal Skulls, let's put it that way. And yeah, I'll say those 2 for £8. And the other one I got was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which me and my son really enjoyed, the Planet of the Apes films. We went to the cinema to watch this one, so now I've got it on Blu-ray. Look forward to watching that again at some point. Another 3D film here, Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Now, I like the Ice Age films. I have watched Dawn of the Dinosaurs many moons ago. Not in 3D though, so glad to add that one to my collection. Now, this is an awesome box. I got this for £3 at, I think it was CEX. I got this. It's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, one of my favourite Spielberg's films, but it's the 30th Anniversary Ultimate Edition. Now, what's in here? A nice little book with some beautiful images throughout and a bit of discussion on the making of the films and behind the scenes. I've actually got a really good book about that by Bob Balaban. It's the diary that he kept on set. Big fan of Close Encounters. And then inside, if you open this up, there's 2 discs. One is special features and one is the movie 3 times. So you've got all 3 versions of the film. You've got the original theatrical cut, the 1980 special edition, which to me was my least favourite, and then the 1998 collector's edition, which I think is the same as the limited edition I've already had on DVD. That's my favourite copy. And then inside here also you've got a little bit of a poster. I say a little bit of a poster, it is a poster. One side is a poster, but on the other side it's sort of like a guide to tell you each version of the film and what's different, what changes, what bits they cut out, what bits they add in. So that's quite a nice little guide there. So that is sort of a prized possession of mine, that one now. Classic Spielberg. Next is a film I've not heard of, but the cover looked quite good. It's got a good cast. Cillian Murphy, Sigourney Weaver and Robert De Niro. Red Lights, and it says on the front, this year's Sixth Sense. Red Lights. So again, I'm not reading the back of the cover. I'm going to go in blind to watch that, see if I enjoy it, see what I make of it. If any of you have seen that, tell me, is it good? Did you like that? Or have you never heard of it? I'd never heard of it, but that doesn't surprise me these days. So many films pass us by because you don't get the big theatrical releases at the cinemas like you used to. Another 3D Blu-ray here, 300, Rise of an Empire. Now I have watched 300, Frank Miller's 300, a long time ago. So yeah, there's the sequel, Rise of an Empire in 3D. That's the sort of thing that would look stylish in 3D, I should imagine. One more 3D movie here. After Christmas in 3D. Now I picked up a couple of Christmas films leading into Christmas and I wanted a 3D Christmas film to watch. Me and my daughter sat through that after Christmas. The 3D was quite good. Quite a quirky little story if you haven't seen it already. Well worth checking out. And then add into my Marvel collection, I've got a fair few of them now. Avengers Infinity War in 3D. So I've got a lot of the Marvel films now in 3D. I will start watching them at some point. Right, so next, 4 more piles to go through. Let's do TV next. First of all, I dug this one out. Peanuts 1960s collection. Now this is great. It's got Charlie Brown Christmas, Charlie Brown All-Stars, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, You're in Love, Charlie Brown, Here's Your Dog, Charlie Brown, and It Was a Short Summer, Charlie Brown. Massive Peanuts fan I was when I was younger, and yeah, enjoyed this just for the Christmas one over Christmas, which I watch. And I must say the soundtrack I listen to every Christmas. That's my Christmas soundtrack. Porridge, the Christmas specials. I've started collecting the Porridge DVDs over there, so now I've got the Christmas special to go with it. Most of these, as I say, was like from charity shops. There's a charity shop that do 4 for £1, and every time I go in there I come out with like 10 or 12 DVDs, and then I'll tip, do really good rates as well. Another TV Christmas special, Alan Partridge, Knowing Me, Knowing You. I love an Alan Partridge. I've got most of his stuff over there, so I'll go with that on my TV shelf. Now this one here, I paid a little bit more for it, £4.98, which I thought was a really good price because I've been looking for it for ages, and it's always like over 10 quid. And then I saw this on eBay, it had no thumbnail, so it seemed a bit dodgy. Season 10 of Red Dwarf basically is what it is. So I've got all the BBC ones, all the DVDs that the BBC released. I'll pick this one up, and the special features on this are quite good as well. And I've quite enjoyed this comeback season of Red Dwarf. And yeah, it's a steel box. That's what it said on the eBay. I thought that can't be right for £5, when usually you're paying well over £10 for season 10. But there you go, it turned up. It's decent nick. I've watched it. Good. Also, I've been collecting series of different stuff. I've got Hannibal season 1, and now I've picked up Hannibal season 2, which my son likes Dexter, so I'm hoping he'll sit and watch these with me at some point. More seasons of a show I used to have on box set. I got rid of a load of DVDs over the years, kicked myself, and that's why I'm going mental now. I promised I'd never get rid of my DVDs again. I'm starting to collect them all again. The first 2 seasons of this I have on Blu-ray. Now I've got seasons 3, 4 and 5 of Boardwalk Empire. Really good series. I think Scorsese produced it. The producers are Sopranos as well, and of course Steve Buscemi in the title role. Really good series. I'm looking forward to revisiting that. Classic ITV series next, Minder. I picked up 2 more boxes. I've got the first season over there, which I've watched and I've enjoyed. This is season 2 and season 9. When I get the lot, you can see that the spine will eventually make up Minder across the top, so I love that sort of thing as well. So yeah, some more Minder to watch. George Cole, Dennis Waterman. From Charlie Brooker, the creator of Black Mirror, for Channel 4, Dead Set, which is basically the Big Brother house gets invaded by zombies in a one-off TV drama. I watched it when it first came out. It's quite good, tongue-in-cheek. Looking forward to watching that again. This one here, I was saying about the Red Dwarf, where it was good value for money. Well, this DVD, I've been looking for this for years. Something that scared the crap out of me. If you've listened to my podcast at all, I've done an episode called Chasing the Fear, where I discuss my desire to be scared from a horror film, like I was when I was younger, when I watched Ghostwatch. Now basically, yeah, it's always like 18, 19 quid for Ghostwatch. I found this in a box set again. I thought, this can't be right. There's 2 films, Ghostwatch and Stone Tape, and it was 9 quid, or 9.99, something like that. Under a tenner anyway. So I thought, that can't be right. Bought it, it was. And I've watched Ghostwatch again. It has dated fair, but it is great. A great concept for a drama that everyone thought was absolutely real. And it scared the crap out of the entire nation, myself included. I was only 12 at the time, so this looked quite interesting. I haven't seen it before. From producer Steven Spielberg, complete first season of Falling Skies. Now, the world has been attacked by aliens, and this is sort of what happens in the aftermath, I think. So that sounded quite interesting. Pick that up. I like a bit of Charles Dickens. David Copperfield is one of my favourite books of his. Christmas Carol, obviously. I've done some massive Christmas Carol videos over Christmas. But what I haven't seen is Bleak House, and this one here stars Gillian Anderson and Charles Dance. So yeah, I look forward to watching that as well. My wife likes period drama, so we'll watch them together. And then up on my top shelf over there, I've got Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the old BBC drama starring Alec Guinness as George Smiley. And now I have also Smiley's People, the follow-up to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. So that's pile 2, that's my TV stuff. So next is my horror pile. Some sound interesting, some are probably a bit cheesy, but I do like watching a horror. As I said, chasing the fear, trying to find a horror film that scares me. So any suggestions, get below. So this is Exorcist The Beginning. So is it a prequel to The Exorcist? I don't know, but I watched Exorcist Believer last year when that came out. Really didn't enjoy that. It started off well and then just went to crap. Bit tongue-in-cheek now, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Now, my wife likes Pride and Prejudice, but she is no way going to watch this because she hates anything like this, zombies, but I'll watch that for a bit of a laugh. And then like I've got quite a lot of sort of trashy looking horror films. I bought them all at the same time, 4 for £1 in that charity shop, as I was saying. This one here, Carnivore, Werewolf in London, or Werewolf of London. So, you know, I love American Werewolf in London. I've got loads of werewolf films actually to watch, so I will do a season on werewolf films, or do a one big special video. But has anyone ever seen that? Any good? Let me know. Then Dead of Night. One man stands between the living and the dead. It's Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. Mean anything to you? It's Brandon Routh, who played Superman in Superman Returns. Not seen him in anything else, so it looks a bit of a supernatural sort of werewolfy, vampire-y thing. Worth looking at. Now, I've got the classic original of this. There's a new remake by Robert Eggers. This is the 70s remake. Nosferatu stars Bruno Ganz, and I'm looking forward to having a watch of that one. I know that's not meant to be very good. People have just got mixed reviews. The Omen Pentology next, the box set. And I picked this up from a tip. I picked up like 4 or 5 box sets all at once. There's more to come in another pile. But for £5 I got all them, so this is really good. So yeah, there's 5 Omen films in here. Omen, the Omen 2 and the Omen 3, the original trilogy. Then Omen 4, The Awakening, which I think is like a sequel too far. Well, they just couldn't help themselves. And then you got the remake of The Omen there. So classic Antichrist movie, worth having a look. I've seen the first one lots of times. I've seen the remake. I haven't seen 2 and 3, so look forward to watching them. Kristen Stewart next in The Messengers, from the makers of The Grudge and Boogeyman. Don't know nothing about that again. So yeah, going in blind. Anyone ever seen any of these films? Let me know if they're any good. From the makers of The Conjuring, or from the sort of The Conjuring stories, isn't it? Annabelle. Now, I think The Conjuring sort of start off well and then go ridiculous, and then they just, yeah, they're not my sort of horror film. But I thought I'll get these anyway, just watch them. I'll do a review of them all one day. I did really enjoy this film, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, starring Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox. Creepy sort of film from the director of Troll Hunter. Then The Pope's Exorcist, Russell Crowe. Don't know nothing about this as well, but it's an Exorcist film with Russell Crowe. I don't think it's part of the Exorcist series. It's just about an Exorcist, I think. But again, any good? Let me know in the comments. Then I've got Insidious Chapter 3. I've been watching some of the Blumhouse horrors. I've got Insidious 1 and 2, so I thought, well, let's just finish the set. Pick that one up. Another Conjuring film, The Nun. Again, not seen it, but yeah, worth having a look. Add into the collection. And then the last horror film that I bought, and I have watched this, I couldn't wait to watch it really, and I really enjoyed it, is Ethan Hawke in Black Phone. Now, I watched this, I thought it was great. I love the chemistry between the children actors, the brother and the sister. Their storyline's really great. The sister, what a great character in this. If you haven't seen it already, I won't spoil it. Go in, watch it. I'm sure most of you have watched it before I have, to be fair. I even watched Black Phone 2 off of the back of this, and I really didn't enjoy Black Phone 2. This was quite sort of subtle. It's based on a book by Joe, or a short story by Joe Hill, son of Stephen King, and the sequel just sort of loses the essence of this and becomes sort of more like your Conjuring sort of ridiculous horror movie. Right, next, it's two piles, but we're just going to plough through them. It's sort of classic movies and box sets as well. So first of all, a little paper DVD, Reach for the Sky, classic war film, one of my dad's favourites, all about Douglas Bader. Now, I think I've already got it, but I had to pick it up just in case I haven't, and I can give it to my dad if not. Then a bit of a sort of a supernatural horror, Flowers in the Attic, another film I've not heard of. Stars Louise Fletcher, out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And then another paper one I got was Conan the Destroyer. So I've never ever seen the Conan films either, so I really do need to have a look at them. Early Schwarzenegger. A Christmas film next. Couldn't resist buying this one. I watch it most years online, but I saw it in the charity shop and I thought, well, why not own it? Scrooge, starring Alistair Sim, as voted for by you all as the best Scrooge film out there. And yeah, I happen to agree, it is a really good one. Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep in the multi-Academy Award winning Kramer versus Kramer. Again, never seen it, a bit of a drama. We'll like to check it out. Adding to my Clint Eastwood collection next, Firefox. Now this is one I had watched years and years ago, because when I was a kid I always thought that plane looked really cool, so I hired it out from our local video shop when I was younger. Can't remember it at all, probably only about 12 at the time. Then another film, Robert De Niro, Edward Norton, Mila Djokovic, Stone. Again, don't know nothing about it, looks like a bit of a sort of a thriller. Any good? Let me know in the comments. Now, Prisoners, really good film. Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Paul Dano in a film by Denis Villeneuve. Powerful stuff. I've got two films already in this series. It was only when I was looking into something else that I realised there was a third film to tie them all together. And it's the films based on Hunter S. Thompson book. This is The Rum Diary, starring Johnny Depp. So again, Johnny Depp, I think he plays Hunter S. Thompson in this. Most of his stuff is sort of non-fiction, gonzo journalism. So I've got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which he also stars as Hunter S. Thompson, and then Bill Murray in Where the Buffalo Roam. So that's the third film there to add to that collection. Now, adding to the skinhead films, I've got quite a collection of skinhead films. Again, haven't watched them yet. I need to sit down. I buy DVDs at a rate far quicker than I can ever get around to watching them. So I will start doing seasons and doing little sets. Now, this is an ITV DVD. Astonishing, magnificent, it says, starring Tim Roth in Made in Britain. So very early Tim Roth there in a skinheady neo-Nazi role. Anyone ever heard of that? Bit of a gangster film next, starring Bernard Hill and Keith Allen. North vs South. So again, not heard of that. Brutal, bloody and brilliant. And one of the best gangster movies I've ever seen, The Herald say. I like a gangster film. I like a British gangster film, so I'll check that out. Based on the terrifying bestseller by Joe Nesbo next, from the director of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Michael Fassbender in The Snowman. Looks a bit of a thriller. Again, I don't know what that is. Not heard of it. Now this looks a bit like it might have come out in the sort of the Slackers era. I don't know if it's British. It looks almost British, and it's called Late Night Shopping. Now, not heard of this, but it says it's a bit of a slacker comedy. Now, sometimes these slacker comedies haven't dated very well. Sometimes they date quite well. So, yeah, Human Traffic, when I last watched that, I didn't think it was as good as when we was youngsters going out raving. It was like our go-to film. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what this one's like. Now, my wife took my daughter to watch Wicked films, and one of my favourite Oz films was Return to Oz. So I ordered this one online, about £3. Haven't seen it for a long time. Directed by Walter Murch, who's a famous sort of sound editor, I think. Is he audio editor or is he an editor? but yeah, one of his first, I think it might have been his first, maybe his only movie he directed. Ken Loach, kitchen sink drama, Carla's Song. Got a few Ken Loach films, worth doing a season on that at some point, having a look. Now over Christmas I watched The Apartment, the Jack Lemmon film directed by Billy Wilder. Now there's another Billy Wilder Jack Lemmon film, and Walter Matthau in The Fortune Cookie. Now I watched that was a really good film. Jack Lemmon plays a football TV cameraman who gets caught in a tackle, and then Walter Matthau plays his crooked lawyer brother, and they're trying to sue, and basically a false claim to try and get like £1 million out of all the different companies involved. Western that I haven't watched, Young Guns. In our school we had a lot of young farmers who used to love this film, so that sort of put me off back then. But now, yeah, I'd quite like to watch it. The Brat Pack doing a Western. Pick this one up for my son. I will get it in Blu-ray, hopefully 3D Blu-ray at some point. Venom, There Will Be Carnage. He enjoys the Venom films. This one here I couldn't resist as well, topping up numbers. I want to get this on Blu-ray though, because this is one of my favourite Edgar Wright films, Baby Driver. Really, really good film. Now this I bought with when I bought Black Phone actually. It was like 2 for £6. All Quiet on the Western Front, the Netflix version. I really, really enjoyed this. It was harrowing, but it was quite different to the other versions. The book as well, I've read the book, a little bit different in places, but keeps the main crux. Anti-war film. I think everyone needs to watch this in this day and age to make us think twice about where we're heading, perhaps. But I've got 3 versions of All Quiet on the Western Front now, so I will do a video looking at all 3 of those together at some point. Crispin Glover, Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper in The River's Edge. I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. So going in blind again, I could read the back of the cover, but I like to read it for you, to leave it for you to tell me if it's worth watching or what you thought of it without giving the plot away. Comedy next, Analyse That. I've got Analyse This, now I've got Analyse That. Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro. De Niro playing a gangster who goes in for therapy. So, Sopranos. What came first, The Sopranos or Analyse This? And then this one sounded quite good, from the director of Lethal Weapon, Sir Richard Donner, and the author of Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton. Timeline. So I think it's a bit of a sci-fi sort of time travel-y thing. I don't know. I like time travel. I like sci-fi. It's worth having a look. Anyone heard of that one? Is that a good one? And then this one I have seen from the director of the Mad Max films and Babe, Pig in the City. I can't believe that they marry up. And Happy Feet as well. Same director. It's mental, isn't it? So George Miller, anyway, if you wondered who he was. And that's Witches of Eastwick. Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon and Michelle Pfeiffer. Nice little bit of supernatural comedy from the 80s. Next is a film called The Dish. Now this is based on a true story, I think, about how a little Australian town, a little sheep farming community, became the place where they used the satellite dish in that town to broadcast the moon landings all over the earth. And this is the drama, sort of a comedy drama looking at how that had to happen and not go wrong, basically, I suppose. Sam Neill stars in that. Very early Jennifer Lawrence, The Winter's Bone. Bit of a thriller. Again, I don't know nothing about it. It says hauntingly brilliant and truly standout piece of work. So I will be looking forward to watching that. Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress for Jennifer Lawrence there. Just been watching all the Hobbit special editions, extended versions, and all the special features on there. I love watching Peter Jackson films, the productions of them. I've got the extended versions of Lord of the Rings I spoke about in a video the other week where I talked about special features. And then I just saw this, the deluxe extended version of King Kong. It's only on DVD, but I think there's going to be loads of special features on there as well. So I'm more for that because I wasn't that keen on the film, King Kong, to be honest, but it'd be worth having a look at Pete Jackson enjoying himself making a film. But yeah, King Kong, extended version. So that was a box set. Again, these are the box sets I said. I bought a load of box sets from a charity shop for £5. Oh yeah, The Omen was the first one. That was the other one. And then I got 4 Jack Nicholson films. Chinatown Special Collector's Edition, Terms of Endearment. The Two Jakes, which is the sequel to Chinatown, and then Heartburn, all in one box. And then haven't seen any of these films, James Dean collection, the complete James Dean collection. There's only 3 films: East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant. Tragic, died too young. I've never seen any of the James Dean films, so that will be worth having a look at, seeing what made him stand out as an actor. Again, that was one of the box sets for a £5. And then finally I got this one here, Film Noir Classics. So Fallen Angel, Whirlpool, Night and the City, and Where the Sidewalk Ends. So a BFI box set here, some classic films to check out. And yeah, those box sets all for £5 I bought them, so really good. That brings it to conclusion. That's all the new DVDs I've got to try and fit into these shelves somewhere. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I need another shelf. Don't tell the wife. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. As I said, comment below. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all again soon for some more film related videos. Cheers.